Hello viewer, welcome to our next video. Do you like to climb hills? Do you like to sit or stand when you are paddling up the hills? Do you know which is better, standing or sitting on the saddle? We ask scientists for guidance on cycling technique because the elite couldn't decide which position is ideal for climbing. Two outstanding climbers battled head-to-head on some of Spain's most dreaded mountains during the 2014 Vuelta a España. Alberto Contador and Chris Froome battled it out on the ascents time and time again. Frequently evenly matched but rarely exhibiting the same style, Contador, the eventual winner of that year's race, preferred to climb out of the saddle, whilst Froome of Team Sky preferred to stay seated and spin a quick cadence. Both methods were beneficial, but which one should we use? It's all about the steepness and length of the climb, explains Marco Pinati, a former BMC racing rider. The faster you go, the shallower the climb, so you don't have to stand. When you sit, you're also more aerodynamic. If the slope is steep, standing will provide you a temporary edge. Pinati has been there and burned the quads as a 6-time Italian national champion. But does that wide anecdotal brush match textbook physics? We're sure you've contemplated the mechanical effort that you and your stretched limbs are doing through beads of sweat and an aorta that's about to burst. Let's take a break and explain why riders with a high power-to-weight ratio excel in the mountains. W stands for power, KR stands for rolling resistance, M stands for the combined mass of the cyclist, S stands for speed on the road, K stands for air resistance, A stands for the combined frontal area of the cyclist, V stands for speed through the air, G stands for gravitational acceleration, and I stands for incline. W equals KRMS plus KAS 2 plus GMS. It's a long way of saying that riders with a high power-to-weight ratio excel in the mountains. Professor Ernst Hansen determined in 2008 that road riders should stay seated until the gradient reaches 10%. Standing became more effective in terms of sustained power output from then on, despite the riders consuming 5% more oxygen when standing. Peak power output has been observed to be 25% higher when standing compared to sitting during short all-out bursts. But there is a trade-off. Even at gentler gradients of roughly 4%, research has shown that rising at 19 kmh while seated consumes 10% less oxygen than ascending while standing. This is due to the saddle's support of the body's center of mass, which conserves energy. Standing up is more tiring, so this is normally left to bursts of less than 60 seconds. Those brief out-of-saddle surges are common in all levels of cycling, whether for altering effort or accelerating away from a competitor, though some riders stand long enough to raise eyebrows. Starting with the upper body, standing has the ability to elicit greater power output. When standing, the rider can produce more leverage from the handlebars, and the wider the handlebars, the better. Standing up also changes many of your body's angles, one of which is at the hip. You recruit more muscles, including the glutes and more calves, as you open this up, giving you more power potential. That closed hip angle can limit power production when seated. From seated to standing, the range of hip mobility is roughly 40 degrees to 70 degrees. This range extends from roughly 30 degrees to 75 degrees at the knees. Finally, from a seated 25 degree to a standing 40 degrees range of ankle mobility is achieved. These angles are similar to what you get when you run, which pays dividends in the propulsive phase. Standing gives you more power, but it comes at a cost in terms of energy. This may seem self-evident, but it all boils down to efficiency. It all boils down to things like generating more power with less energy, how much heat you create, and so on. People used to believe that efficiency couldn't be taught, but it can. This efficiency is aimed in climbing, so if you train on climbs in the saddle most of the time, you'll see the benefits. Vice versa while standing. We believe that your chosen climbing style stems from your experience from the moment you learn to ride a bike. Standing is uneconomical because the larger you are, the more energy you waste. That doesn't apply as much if you're light like Nairo Quintana. Contador weighed 62 kilograms, while Froome weighed 69 kilograms, which could explain why the heavier of the two prefers to sit. There's also the issue of cadence to consider. On the flat, 80 to 90 revolutions per minute is ideal. Slightly less on the hills, according to numerous studies. According to research from the 2008 Tour de France, the average cadence on the 17.5 kilometers long and 208 meters high Galibier was 67 revolutions per minute, while the 10.3 kilometers and 8.3% St. Larry Solent was 64 revolutions per minute. On the mountains, your cadence can't dive too low or you'll lose momentum and tumble off. Adds Pinati, it doesn't appear to be a problem for high-revving Froome. Lightweights may dance on their pedals, while heavyweights derrieres may remain firmly planted in their saddles. But one thing is always constant: Climbing hurts a lot. You have reached the end of our video. You are awesome. Thank you for watching the full video. If you like more videos like this from us, don't hesitate to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Stay on your saddle and see you in the next video.